everybody. I was asked to do a video on my Chronomancer. It's the class I play with all the time. I love it. I never ever leave my mesmer. And yeah, if you guys like it, you can use it and whatnot, and hopefully it sheds some light and some things, and yeah, that's about it. So, the way I play the class is I run Zerker with Scholar Runes. I like dealing damage. Yeah, so everything is Zerker with Scholar Runes. My weapons are Greatsword and Sword Shield, which is new. Shield's awesome. Greatsword's got Bloodlust and Sigil of Force, which is +5 damage. Same down here. Oh, actually, I'm missing my Bloodlust on my shield because it's so new. So I'll fix that later, though. All this is Power, Precision, Ferocity. If it's not, it's because I need some sort of infused thing to do fractals. This one's got 20% experience for kills because I'm leveling up my stuff for the new expansion. But anyways, yeah. So that's that. Let's see. So food. This definitely isn't the meta, but I do plus 40% to your endurance refill rate. I like to dodge a lot. Since I'm Zerker, I'm pretty squishy. They are the bowls of Orient truffle and meat stew. This way I don't need vigor, even though I normally have vigor, but it's nice to be able to dodge more often. It really is. It keeps you alive. As for the maintenance oil, I've got the 100% precision and 10% wound duration. Just nice, the precision, you know, more crits and stuff. So yeah, that's it for equipment and food. Let's go into the traits. Alright, so these are my traits. Got Inspiration, Dueling, and Chronomancer. I like to call this build the Mantra of Resolve Zerker. And the reason I do that is because I rely heavily on Mantra of Recovery to keep me alive. Mantra of Resolve, Mantra of Recovery to keep me alive. I can cast it 3 times, and every time I cast it I remove 2 conditions. There is 2 reasons for that. Power Cleanse, the first minor trait in Inspiration. Cast Power Cleanse when you use a heal skill. So that's really nice, I get 3 times of it. And also the Harmonious Mantras allows me to activate it 3 times instead of 2. It's only got a 10-second recharge when it's done. So, and plus I got Alacrity with stuff, so that's speeding it up. Yeah, it's pretty quick, and then bam, there I go, and I'm back to healing myself as soon as it's done casting. When it's done casting, I even get a heal, because of this, Restorative Mantras. So heal allies around you when you finish preparing a mantra. So not only am I healing when I just use it, I'm also healing when it finishes charging, which is nice. It is really nice. I got a lot of health coming my way. Okay, so that's the first 2, knocked out. This is a minor, gotta take it. Really nice for when you're stacking up and you need to protect your teammates. What it does is it gives distortion to your friendlies. Distortion, if you don't know, pretty much makes you invulnerable. No matter how many illusions you have out, though, your distortion that you give to allies is only going to be 1 second. A trick that you can do is use Signet of Illusions. This will recharge distortion. So this guy right here, you can see that, bam, he has distortion for 1 second. I use that, bam. Oh, look at that, learned something new. There you go. So there is a timer on it. What is the cooldown? Cooldown's 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds. So yeah, I did a little too fast, but you can see the idea is that you're going to get 3 of them. With the new Continuum split, though, you could probably get a 4th one out. So there you go. 4 seconds of stack invincibility when you're all stacked up in a corner to kill mobs. You know how it is. Stack there and you spam stuff on it. Alright, so that's that trait. Restorative Illusions. So my Shatters, they do quite a bit of stuff. They're not very offensive, they're defensive, they're utilities. I already get Alacrity, which is due to a trait that I'll get to in a bit. And also you can see in blue right there on the bottom, it says Conditions Removed. So not only am I removing a condition every time I use this heal, which in total gives me about 6 conditions removed in a very brief amount of time. I've also got these Shatters, which is great. Like, you're just running around, you're running through a place, you don't want to use your heal, because just to remove a condition, that's silly. So you just go ahead and you Shatter, because your F1 recharges quickly, 10 seconds, and you've removed a condition. If you need to follow it up with F2, you can, F3 if you need to, and if it really gets hairy, you can use your distortion or maybe use a heal to get rid of 2. And so you shouldn't have any issues with conditions. Let's see what else we got. When healing yourself, nearby allies get healed. Never really use this. Don't have much to say about it. It's a minor, so it is what it is. Phantasmal Defender. I trade this out with Temporal Enchanter frequently. Nice things about Temporal Enchanter is you can do Veils, and they last longer. They last for 8 seconds, you can see on the bottom. So if I wanted to do a triple Veil, which you can now do, throw down a Veil, it stays there for a long time, throw down another Veil, it stayed there for a long time, throw down another Veil, stay there for a long time. So you can see that these Veils are a very long time. So in World v World and such, when you're expected to throw down Veils for your Zerg, it's nice to have. Also feedback, any of these 4. Your null field, your feedback, your portal, your veil, it doesn't really matter, portal. Yeah. So that's that. It's very situational. The first one though, back to that, I digress, is Phantasmal Defender. Yeah, so if you get a dodge off a Phantasm spawns that takes 50% of your damage. I think it's the whole party actually, everybody gets the buff on them. So that's pretty sweet. Just nice to have. I don't really rely on it, but when it appears, I notice. When I don't get one-shotted and I live with like 100 health left, I notice. It's the small things, Sometimes you can't pop distortion because you don't know that such a big hit is about to come, and on those times you're going to be happy that you had a Phantasmal Defender. Alright, so inspiration, all done. Dueling. So gain vigor when delivering a critical hit. As I said, I generally have that food on, so I don't rely on vigor. I don't like relying on boons. Yeah, I prefer the food. This has saved my life so many times. Desperate Decoy. The second major trait. Desperate Decoy. So when you drop below 50% health, you use stealth for 3 seconds. That is a lifesaver. There's a spike coming, you don't expect it, you get hit, and all of a sudden, at least in PvE, even in World v World actually, you're no longer the target. If you need to at this time, you can do a double blink. I mean, you just got hit from a thief, he was cloaked, he snuck up behind you, now you can get away. You can blink, and you're gone. If you need to, throw on your torch and go stealth. Get the hell out of there. Do what you gotta do. Put on your mass invis. Do whatever you gotta do. Just leave. So, yeah, very, very useful. Really defensive again. Most of these are defensive traits. Most of my offense comes from my weapons. Comes from my weapon skills. Comes from my trinkets. Yeah, let's move on. Sharper images. Illusions inflict bleeding. That's great. A little bit more damage. Not much to say about that. Fencer's Finesse. It's pretty cool. As you can see on my bar right here, I am gaining stacks, and it increases ferocity per stack. So my ferocity is up, wherever that is. Here it is. It's not very much though. I already have 1200 or something, and it's just doing like very little. If you summon illusions though, like this illusionary leap guy right here, one that I just targeted, him hitting it, as you can see, it's stuck between 6, 7. He's going to help me bring it up as well. So yeah, max is 10. I finally hit 10. Because I've got this guy helping me out. So even though he's a clone and he doesn't do much damage, he is helping me do damage. So he's nice to have out. Let's see, so gain Fury. Fury's nice. Critical chances. Critical chances mean more damage. So when there is a enemy that is less than 75% health, strike him and get Fury. Now, this is refreshed every 5 seconds. So it's very cool. Harmonious Mantras. So yeah, there's 2 parts of this. The first one I went over a little is that you have 3 stacks of power return, which is probably the only mantra you're going to use, and it's just awesome for keeping you alive. It's quick. I'm going to do some Shatters to quicken that recharge with Alacrity. really nice, addition to the game. So yeah, there's 3 stacks there. I know you can't tell because for some reason they put white on white, so hopefully they change that one day, but in the meantime, that's what you got. Also, it gives you, yeah, that's what I meant to do, is it's giving me this. Increased strength, 3% per stack. So spam all your heals, and bam, you're doing an extra 15% damage now. Generally, you don't want to waste your heals to deal damage. If you're interested in something like that, you could always trade to Mantra of Pain. It's spammable, very spammable. It's a very good source of damage in this build, just for standard stuff. Not only are you dealing damage with it, and you're getting those stacks right here, these mantra stacks, but you're also healing your allies around you when it finishes. It's about, I don't know, a decent heal. You got a warrior who's, already only getting health from his signet, and it's just healing over time, and he's got like no health. Spam your mantra, and then go find out where he is in the party, and just stand next to him as you continue dealing damage, and keep spamming it like I'm doing now, and you don't want to drag the aggro to him, of course, because he's almost dead, but if you can, just go ahead and do that, and you can do damage while you're doing your heal as well. So now you got a heal up, you're not completely defenseless. And I'm keeping the 3 stacks pretty easily. I wouldn't want to spam. Oh, it's 5 most now. They changed that. It used to be 10, I believe. So at most you can only do 15% more damage. So yeah, there's that. All right, now to the good stuff. The Chronomancer. Yeah. So the first one gives you the availability to do Continuum Split. I will get into that. It is what makes this class now. It's just unbelievably good. All's well that ends well. So grant alacrity to your allies when wells end. You have a ton of wells, which I'll probably go over every skill. And I will explain all the wells. But you've got a healing well. You've got enough wells to fill your entire bar. You've got an elite well. All these wells plus your heal. So there's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 6 different wells. And one of them is giving you alacrity. 7 seconds, as you can see there. The well of recall. So this guy looks AFK. We'll give him some alacrity. Alright, so he's got 7 seconds the first time, another 7 now, and he's got 10 seconds, so for all that time he gets alacrity, which your skills recharge 66% faster. Now somebody commented in a thread recently about the Chronomancer that I made that it's actually 50% faster. So I haven't done any research into that, just thought I would throw that in there for your own knowledge. So alacrity, yeah. So I gave him alacrity due to this. It's 7 seconds. It's normally 5, just like this one now has 2 seconds on it. The well even has, the elite even has 2 seconds. All my wells have 2 seconds when they end. Alacrity. I guess I'll talk about your other options since it's a new class. Activating a Shatter gives your illusion super speed. That's great if you're a Shatter Mesmer, I guess. Yeah. Interrupting a foe slows them. I don't really interrupt a foe unless I'm doing either my number 5, my F3, or my pushback. I don't think I have any other interrupts. I don't spec for interrupts. I prefer to have utility instead. Most of my traits are helpful. They make the run smoother, generally, whatever it is. Okay, so this is a minor. You're forced to have it. Gain alacrity for each illusion you shatter. This is great if you have something that you want. Let's say I use my gravity well, right? And I'm not doing anything else. It's the end of the battle, and we're just running around with the Zerg or something, or we're running to the next area. I'm going to go ahead and spam all my shatters, because I want that to refresh quicker. I might even drop a Well of Recall on me, because it's going to recharge faster due to the effect it gives me. This is great, and then I just keep spamming, and I kind of keep alacrity going, and I make the elite recharge quicker. Just keep shattering, keep shattering, keep shattering. And the shatters are helping the other shatters recharge, so it's just a whole self-fulfilling mechanic of recharging. So it's really nice. Alacrity is amazing. You can use it in World v. World to speed up the rams, to speed up the catapults. You can really get through those doors quickly. Those walls. That'll probably change, I think, but in the meantime, it's true. So go into World v. World, spam Alacrity Wells on your Alacrity Well on your Rams, and they will be grateful. Your commander will love you. So Alacrity applies to you for 50% longer. That's this other minor that I just kind of skimmed over. Oh, it's actually a major. So the reason I do this is because I like Alacrity. Yeah. The other options are shattering at least 2 illusions creates a clone. I don't need any more clones. I'm not a shatter build. If my phantasms are out, they're doing damage. That is how I feel about them. Yeah, really it's just my number 4 for the sword that I really like having out. Yeah, I mean this does have a phantasm, but my number 4 does great damage, so keeping him out. Generally I try to spam him, get Alacrity on myself, get more of them out. If you want, you could do Continuum with him. You could use that heal skill, which I don't, because I don't care about dealing damage really quick. I'd prefer to just be helpful, help my allies deal damage, etc. Let's see what else left. You move 25% faster. Right. Psh, time marches on. Us Mesmers have had such a difficult time with speed. We had Signet of Inspiration. Now that's new. That now gives 5%. We had Focus 4, and Focus 4 sucked because not only could it activate, it only gave you 50% total uptime. Like I think it was like 12 seconds and then 24-second recharge, and then you'd have to spec into it if you wanted it to recharge faster. And all in all, you'd just be generally pretty slow. You'd be blinking forward and you'd be laying down your thing. And if you already had Swiftness, your Focus 4, your wall, whatever it's called, wouldn't work because you already had Swiftness and it didn't stack. Because in the beginning of the game, people would lay down that field. Let's imagine this is it, and they would just do this, and it would stack and stack and stack and stack and stack. And so they just made it so that if you have any Swiftness, it doesn't work when you go through it. So it was kind of a guessing game. Let's say running with a Zerg. Please nobody do a shout like a warrior shout or a ranger shout or whatever that gives me a swiftness because I'm about to lay down mine. You lay it down and then all of a sudden you have swiftness already. You run through it. Your swiftness is gone in 3 seconds. Could have been like 10 seconds. It was just a disaster. So that's been fixed recently. And Signet of Inspiration now gives swiftness. Grants swiftness for 5 seconds, always, every time, every 10 seconds, so half the time. Which is nice when mixed with the focus thing, because they're all stacking now and it gives you pretty much the 100% uptime. But seeing as they got rid of the focus, or since they gave us a shield, everybody's replaced the focus with a shield. And now, of course, right after they fix swiftness, nobody really wants to, go to the focus and take swiftness. So what do? They give us a minor that gives us movement speed increase of 25%. Sure, it's not swiftness, but it's standard with every other class. They got something like this. So yeah, and it also makes your movement and pairing conditions reduced by 25%. So you got a 4-second immobilize on you, it's now 3 seconds. Same with chilled, same with crippled. And the final one. Gain quickness for each illusion you shatter. Now I really wish this applied when I had no illusions, which as you can see it doesn't. I do not have quickness on me. It only counts when I have phantasms and clones out. There you go, there's my seconds of quickness. 3 seconds, 4 seconds? Yeah, 3, because I don't count, unfortunately. Don't know why that is. I would love to count, because it would be really cool to hit all my shatters and then do some combos that I will be showing you shortly, and having quickness in all of them. That brings something to my attention, actually. I wonder if Continuum Shift... yeah, it does give me quickness. Okay, well, at least there's that. Alright, so that's cool. I do have quickness when I use Continuum Split, so... that's pretty nice, but I gotta have my clones out, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Alright, and so that's traits. What next? Let's go to healing skills. Healing skills. I got a little to-do list on my other monitor. So let's get out of combat. I've not really used the well too much. I don't like standing still that long. When I am fighting, I like to, if I'm low health, I want to get out of the battle. I don't want to be right up in your face. I'm a caster. Like, if this guy's a bad guy, I don't want to be here with, 10% of my health. If I don't want to heal my allies, if they need the group heal, I will. But generally, I trust that my allies are going to heal themselves. If you decide on the roll to be, you know, a group healer in a stack, then sure, maybe this is for you. But otherwise, for a self heal, for just yourself, 30-second recharge. As for somebody who has 3 heals to just use whenever they want after it's recharged, you know, 1, 2, 3. For me to be able to do that, and then go from something that has like no recharge time at all, or no good recharge, like 30 seconds, it's insane. There's no way I would do that. It's like they want you to use Alacrity with it, but why not use Alacrity with an already good heal that you've spec'd into? So that's how I feel about the well. I used to use Etherfest all the time, but once I spec'd for the Mantra heal, which is kind of what this build is based around, at least for keeping yourself alive and bringing utility to the field, yeah, I just figured the Mantra thing was better. I don't think anybody uses Mirror. I got reduced manipulations, so I mean I guess it could be cool. Do I? No, I don't. I don't have reduced manipulations. I used to. I ditched that trait line for the Chronomancer. So yeah, there's no way I would even use that now because it's manipulation. So the mirror thing's pretty cool. I mean, reflect projectiles for 2 seconds after you use it. But if I need to, I'm gonna dodge for projectiles. I got the food on me for more dodges. I got feedback. I don't think I have the ability to go into focus. Yeah, I do. I can go into focus weapon skills and reduce recharge and give me some more projectiles. They actually just updated that recently to give you higher, the focus field is higher when you lay it down, things give you swiftness. So that was in a recent update, I think 28% higher or something. Pretty much it used to suck, things would go through it, and now they don't. So there's, at least they're giving some Mesmers some love. I appreciate that, Anet, thank you. So that's how I feel about the healing skills. This one, oh, of course. A lot of offensive players use the Signet of Ether. They like to do this little combo here. Do a Phantasm, spend your 30-second recharge, 35-second recharge, and do your Phantasm again. Now you've got 2 out really quick. And with Continuum Split, I guess that could be good, because you could actually keep it so that your heal isn't used, actually. I'll get into how that works. It's got so many different potentials, it can be used in every situation, it seems like. Yeah, so using that, maybe it's good. I guess it's a possibility, but just because you can't remove conditions with it like I would like to, I'm not going to use it. It's up to you guys, though. So yeah, that's how I feel about heals. Moving on to Shatters. Alright. So, Mind Rack. I use it at the end of fights. If my Berserkers are out, recently there was a patch of the game that in PvE, I forgot what they called them. Pets or player, I don't remember what they called them. But Phantasms, Ranger Pets, Minion Masters, Minions and stuff, all of them only take like 5% damage if they're not being targeted instead of the full amount. So if this Berserker was supposed to take 1,000 damage, it would only take 50, which is pretty cool. So these things are going to stay up pretty long in PvE. Personally, I've been in the forest a lot recently. I've been in a World v World guild, and I have a hard time staying in there because I want to be out exploring the jungle. Yeah. So I shatter at the end. If the guy's low on health, if I'm doing a big farm where I'm trying to hit a bunch of things, sometimes I'll run through with my block and just spam my shatters. I'll normally get hit, so I'll just, you know, fresh that. If you want, you can mix it with your Signet that recharges. Forgot the name of it, but I showed it to you earlier. Yeah, that's Signet of Resolve, I think. And do 3 more shatters right after you do those shatters, because you got such a long block that it's a decent way to get in some damage, get some XP if you need. Not really a practical way to use them in like a dungeon per se, but keep in mind they do heal you. They do heal you a little. I think they heal you. Do they just remove conditions? I thought Shatters are healing me a little. Pretty sure they do. Yeah, heal yourself and lose conditions when you use a Shatter. Yeah, so with no illusions you get an 872 heal, which, since 3 illusions is 1448, it kind of makes sense that you would just not have any illusions out and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Because right there I just got 8 times 4, 33,200 health, which is pretty good. Considering my health, that's like 20% of my health just from shattering everything. Add a second of invincibility at the end of it. Yeah, remove 4 conditions. Decent heals, decent stuff. So, yeah, that's Mind Rack. Generally just doing some damage if need be. Cry of Frustration, I consider it just as useful as Mind Rack. It's damage and it's heal and condition removal. Diversion I actually used to use a lot when removing stacks of Distortion, or not Distortion, Defiance. Because you could plan it out. You could have a close Phantasm over here. You could have like him way over there. You could get him way over there. You hit F3, boom, it hits him, then it hits him, and I can also hit him if I'm up against him. And you could just make sure all your phantoms are spread out, and you hit F3, and they all run into it, and it's like a second stun, followed by a second stun, followed by a second stun, and then you run, and if you're close, you could count as a stun as well. So it was, days rather, excuse me. So that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. But things are a little different now with the whole break bar. So yeah, still has its uses interrupting people. I like to snap to people and then hit F3 and break their heal if I see them using it in World. It's kind of nice to screw them up like that. But yeah, it does days. So yeah, do with it as you please. Also heals, also removes a condition. Now Distortion. Distortion is my favorite. I have a hotkey to my mouse. That's mouse 5 down there. I keep that thing right next to my dodge. I have 2 mouse buttons. One of them is dodge, the bottom one. Top one is Distortion. And I love Distortion. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah, so you're invincible. You evade all attacks. When you have clones out, it lasts for longer. Yeah, so last 4 seconds, you're considered a clone. In this case. Not for this case, but not for that other case. Not for the quickness. Not for the quickness. But for Distortion, you count as a clone. So that's like 4 seconds of not dying, which is really useful. If you're in an AoE, if you just use your 2 dodge and you see something coming at you, use your Distortion. If you're using a console in one of the dungeons, or fractals, like the Dredge Fractal per se, or the console area in Crucible of Eternity, yeah, that Distortion can be used while you're using something, and it'll prevent you from getting hit. They'll just totally miss. You evade all attacks. So you will continue using your console. At the final mission against Marjamoth, there's a time when you need to use a console, use a well, or whatever it may be. I forgot the name of it exactly. The Rift, that was it. Not going to spoil anything, but you use this thing that's a Rift, and it takes 4 seconds to use, right? So you use one of your wells, which you have, which gives you blur for 3 seconds. You go bam, you start using the console, you have blur, 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 and then bam, Distortion. That's your 4 seconds. Bam, just like that. Doesn't matter how many mobs on you, how much aggro you have, you will get that console used, and you will continue on your story. Yeah, so love Distortion. Really cool, really great. Good for so much stuff. Just staying alive. It's panic mode, panic button. Alright, so I'll go into utility before I go into Continuum Split. It is gonna be using every utility pretty much, so I'd rather get those over with. So let me get out of combat over here. We'll start with the wells. Alright, so Well of Precognition creates a well that gives allies the ability to see the future and allows them to evade all incoming attacks. Someone told me in the thread that this ability does not apply to teammates. Let me check that. He is moving. Alright. Yes, he does not have stability. Neither do I, actually. Odd. Okay, but personally you shouldn't need stability because you've got blur on you, which you're evading all attacks. So if you're evading all attacks, who's going to hit you, right? It seems kind of redundant in the first place, or so I thought. So, yeah. So that just gives you invulnerability. 3 seconds. Remember, at the end of it, you get Alacrity. Next one, Well of Calamity? Yeah. This one I use frequently. This is damage. You lay it down, it does damage to things. It pulses 3 times. First 2 times is 316. Last one is 1894 damage. I'm in Heart of the Mist. I think I'm level 80, yeah. So just plain old damage, plain and simple. Lay it down, things take damage. Nothing special. Well of Recall gives you more alacrity. This is something that if you're going to be in Alacrity Mesmer, if you're going to be in World v World, you're going to be following around the commander, you want to lay alacrity down in Siege. Or just you're playing with teammates that love freaking alacrity. I know my buddy who I play with, he's a warrior. He loves it when I throw down alacrity. He thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. I may have got him on that train, but whatever. It's taken off. So, yeah, this gives alacrity. 7 seconds. It's at the end of it. It's 7 seconds because I have the 2 seconds when a well ends. It's only 5 seconds. Alright, moving on. Well of Action. This is like a little time warp. This is really nice. Creates a well of delayed time, damaging and slowing foes. When the well expires, snaps back, granting quickness to allies. So, I'm going to lay it down just to show you what it does. That guy's pulling my dude. Alright. So he's going to get slowness, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to get quickness, 1, 2, 3. There's my quickness. So that's all it does. It slows him down for 3 seconds, which is nice. Helps your whole team if your foe is slowed. Affects up to 5 targets, giving them all slow, which is really great, considering Time Warp does 5 as well. So if you got a group of 10 people, or even 15, or even 20 people, you give them all slowness for just a little bit. I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, so that's how it works. It's pretty cool. It's baby Time Warp. I like to stack it up with Time Warp and just have a bunch of quickness and maybe do a Signet of Inspiration, which shares boons with others. And now your whole party has a bunch of quickness. It's really nice. Moving on. I got in combat, so I gotta get out of here. Alright, moving on. Nullfield. The rest of these, they have been around. There's nothing really new here. I don't want to go through all these skills. If you don't know these already, I'm sure there's a tutorial out there. I will go over some tricks with some of them though, but I'm going to assume that you already know what they do. So, finally, my favorite. Continuum Split. Where do I even start? Alright, let's start with the no illusion tricks. No illusion tricks, there are a few. You can do a double elite. You can do a triple blink. You can do a crazy portal that you wouldn't even think you could do. I'm gonna start with the portal, because for me, it was about the last idea I got. It was the least intuitive thing there was, and pretty happy with the idea. I like how it turned out. So I'd like to share it with the rest of y'all. So the way it works, Continuum Shift, is you use it and you get a little item on the floor. I don't think I've ever seen it break. Somebody can break it apparently, but I've never seen that. But I'm not a big PvP player, and I'm generally in PvE. And it lasts so short amount of time. It's a second and a half for each illusion. And I'm pretty sure you're counting. I think it's 6 seconds total. So what it does is you use it initially. We'll call that Continuum Split. The other one's called Continuum Continuum Shift is the second part of the move. So you use the Split, and then you have Shift as an option for 6 seconds. And in that time, whatever you do, let's say you lose all your health. Let's say I lose 15,000 health. I move over here, and my endurance is completely drained. Right? I will bounce back to that location I was at, no matter how far I am, no matter how far you can get. You don't have enough time to get anywhere. You will bounce back to this location. Let's give you an example. So I'm going to run off this edge, and you know what? If I ran off that edge, I would pop back up. I'll show you that. No, I don't want to wait for it to recharge. It's 90-second recharge, so we're not going to do that. What I will do, though, putting on Alacrity so I can speed up the recharge, because I just realized I'm going to have some recharge times here, and it's going to take a little bit. I'm laying down a portal, right? Let's say I gotta get my teammates on the other side of this bridge. Let's say this bridge collapses behind me. Alright, let's just pretend. What I can do now, let's pretend that I've got seconds left on the portal. And my team's not there, the Zerk's not there, they've still got, some time left. Let's say Mimic's recharging, I can't use Mimic to refresh my portal, because sometimes you can. Well, you can, but it has to be recharged. Actually, this trick requires Mimic, so this isn't a very good example. But check this out. I'm going to use Mimic. I'm going to open the portal. The portal is going to be refreshed. I'm going to go through the portal, but before I do, I'm going to use Continuum Split. When I go through the portal, the second I go through it, I'm going to lay a new portal, and I'm going to bounce back here. We're going to be in the exact same position. I'm going to have a new portal over there with a fresh recharge time. Here we go. Mimic, use the portal. Alright, so here we go. We're going to use Continuum Shift, go through it, and use that. Alright, there we go. So I went through it. We laid a new portal there. You can see the timer. It's 53 seconds. I can't do it again because Mimic. Actually, maybe I can. If I did all of this, I might even have this recharge soon enough to maintain this trick over and over and over again. I doubt it, though. That'd be way too crazy. I guess it's possible, though. This dude's chilling me. Cool. Yeah, so neat little trick there, guys. That's what you can do with the portal. Some other neat little tricks that we've got for Continuum Split is triple portals. And what triple portals are is using the portal 3 times in a row. So let's say you're inside SMC and World v World, and you need to portal a massive Zerger. You're on a tier 1 server. You're the only Mesmer there, and you know what? You don't trust any other Mesmers to lay a portal before they come up. Or maybe just no Mesmer can get in because the first 20 people that use it aren't Mesmers, alright? Who knows? Maybe you've got no Mesmers with you. Whatever. We are going to teleport 60 people worth, alright? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do that right from, I don't know, here. Go back to the same spot. Alright, so let's do the first portal. Alright, hey Zerg, how you doing? We're going to do a trick Mimic. I probably should have shown you that first. So I'm going to cast Mimic, but before it finishes, I'm going to hit the Continuum Split. This will allow Mimic to fully be recharged and for me to have the effect of Mimic on me. Here we go. Bam. I have Mimic on me, Echo, and I can use my portal. So let's use my portal. I send the whole Zerg up, including myself, so only 19 people can get in. So 19 people get in, and then we do it again. This time with Mimic. Just same thing. This time it's not recharged though, because Continuum Split is on recharge. And then another 19 people come up. And then finally, your final portal to get another 19 people up. So there you go. That is 57 people up. You use 3 of those spots, so that's why it's not 60. Voila. Alright, let's give ourselves some alacrity, speed up this recharge, and I will show you how to do a triple blink. Triple blink is one of my favorites. You wouldn't think blink would work since you moved back to where you initially were, as I showed you with the trick with the portal from here to here. I went through it, used Continuum Split, right before I went through it, ended up over there, laid down a new portal which killed my first portal, link, and then I popped back because Continuum Split ended. If when it ends, I pop back. So, how are you going to do a triple blink, right? Well, the same trick I just did, which is the Mimic Renewal. The Mimic Renewal is really, really sweet. It allows for triple use of anything, really, whether it be the Alacrity Well. You get a free use of it. It recharges in a second. You still have your Mimic. You use Mimic, and then you use it again. It recharges in a second. You finally use it a third time. Boom. You have three Alacrities. Pretty cool. Yeah. So let's do the blink one. Set up blink. I call this my triple blink portal bomb because that's what I want to use with it one day. I hope that I get the opportunity to. I'm just going to be with a commander who knows how awesome this is. I'm even going to mix it up with some stealth because why not? Because that would make it much cooler. So here we go. Let's cast our Mimic. Alright, refresh it. Okay, there it goes, refreshed. Now I'm going to lay down a portal. Now I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the invisibility. I'm going to blink. I'm going to do another Mimic. I'm going to blink. I'm going to blink. Ah, blink. I'm going to lay down the portal. So there we go. Huge distance, short time. Transport a whole Zerg through that. Whatever you want. And it's quick, as you can see. Requires a little bit of finesse. You gotta be really good in the timings. The stealth's a little hard. You can put Torch in there to give you 3 more seconds of stealth. not in combat. Yeah, so that's got 3 seconds of stealth and the torch, if you want. That'll help out a bit. You kind of need all your utilities, so there's no real options there. Your lead's 5 seconds, plus that's 8 seconds. Plenty of time to do your trick. As you notice, the first portal didn't use the Mimic either, so don't be afraid of that. It's the second use of portal that expires your Echo, which comes from Mimic. Yeah, so that's the triple blink portal bomb. Okay, now the standard use of Continuum split, which you will be doing most often if you're just looking for damage, which most of us are, right? We don't always need to be utility. Sometimes the fights are easy enough that we don't need to be utility, and we just wanted to deal damage. I happen to be in that position quite a lot, and I'm content with the amount of damage I deal, even spec'd as utility like this. So let me show you what I do for my damage. So, well, Calamity, it's great. I always keep Blink on. I always keep Mimic on, unless this is a Mantra Pain, because then Mimic's not that great because it only works with Blink. Then I might trade this out for a Well, as of recent, if I'm just spamming that. Generally a Well like either Quickness, even a Lack, it doesn't matter. Any of these Wells great. I'm still playing with them all. A Well over there is cool, if that's what you want, and you want Mantra Pain here. But not for this combo. So for this combo, I need 3 Phantasms out. So let's go do that. There they are. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop down Time Warp. And as you saw with Mimic, I don't cast Continuum Split before it. I cast it in it. You can see it loading or using on the screen, and then I cast it. If you cast it first and then cast this, you will screw up. The recharge will not be, back to nothing. It's very finicky. Actually, no, because we have 3 illusions, that won't be a problem. But still, make it a habit of mid-skill using Continuum Split. Because when you have no illusions, that's what you have to do. So that's what I'm going to do, because that's good habit. And here's the game plan. We're going to lay down a Time Warp, alright? Once we lay down a Time Warp, we're going to use Mimic. Once we use Mimic, we're going to use Well of Calamity twice. That's giving us pulses of damage, alright? So that's going to be 2 of them. As soon as we're done using the second one, all our skills are going to refresh because we were using Continuum Split. Okay, well, you want to lay down another Time Warp? Go ahead. I don't recommend it though, because it's a 3-minute recharge as opposed to the Continuum Split, which is only a 90-second recharge, half the time, minute and a half. So just save your Time Warp and always use it with Continuum. You're going to notice that Mimic is the same recharge time as Continuum Split, so yeah, they're always going to work nice together. There's going to be a lot of synchronicity there. So go ahead, that's why it doesn't matter that you use it right after Continuum Split ends, because they're going to recharge at approximately the same time. It's going to be like 2 seconds later. So here we go, let's check it out. So here's my Time Warp. Bam, alright. Alright, everything's used, and it ends, and there's another Mimic, and there's the 3rd Well, and finally the 4th Well. There we go. All your things are dead. You might as well use up all your Shatters to give you more alacrity. If you want this Blink, instead of being a Blink, you can be a bit more aggressive and lay down an alacrity Well to give you more alacrity, to speed things up, to make this combo more, common, more possible, more accessible, more frequently. Yeah. That's your combo. I recommend you practice it. It's pretty darn sweet. And Well of Calamity is my choice. You could do feedbacks, which are pretty cool if you need that sort of reflection projectile reflection, which is a really cool idea. I played with it a little bit. I'm going to show you it here. As soon as I get that recharge, I'm going to spam some Shatters to give me some quicker recharge. It's very nice how we can do this. Don't have to wait as long. I probably could summon some Phantasms to Shatter to make this even quicker. Now I'll get out of combat. No, I'm good. Alright. So here we go. We're going to do a line of feedbacks, alright? This is going to be just ridiculous. I don't even think I need the Time Warp. Yeah, I'm not going to use the Time Warp with this combo. So that's 1 Phantom, or Clone, or whatever. It's another one. It's another one. So we're just going to do, yeah, since we have 3 clones, we can do a Continuum Split, a Mimic, a Feedback, and a Feedback. And then it's going to end, and then we're going to do Mimic, Feedback, Feedback. So I'm going to target probably these 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have a line of feedback. Alright. Alright, there's my line of feedbacks. That's that, 4 feedbacks. Again, blink might want to be the alacrity well, just to speed up these recharges. I have a hard time getting blink off my bar. Alright, so I feel like this video has gone on too long. I'm not going to go over the new weapon skills. I guess I'll go over them quickly. Echo of Memory is nice. It is a block. See here I'm blocking. If you get hit in it, if it finishes, you spawn a phantasm, which is kind of cool. It's nice if you need one. You know, why not have a phantasm, right? If you're blocking, you might need distortion soon. That's an extra second of distortion that guy gives you. So it's cool that he spawned. I don't really know his damage or anything. If you get hit while channeling that the first time, apparently it gives alacrity too, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so that's, you know how much I love alacrity. So if you get hit while channeling this, you get a second block, which is really nice. The last 10, you got 10 seconds to use it. You don't have to use it right away. And then this final one. This final one is really nice. You launch at an enemy. It does massive, like the stuns on these big guys is huge. It gives you quickness when it comes back to you. It's for bigger enemies, like the ones that take up this whole thing. It like stun, 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 and on the way back, stun, 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 stun. It's really insane. If it comes back to you when you shoot it, it's a 10-second reduction in recharge. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. It's my first video I've done as a tutorial, so please don't be too harsh. Thanks again.